Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about something I've talked about once before, and it's about Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all those, and which one is the best one to pick. Now, originally I used to say Netflix was the top of the line, Hulu was way down here, and Amazon Prime, was kind of floating around because it had more features, with shipping and stuff like that. But times have changed, and it's only really been about a year, and it's really weird how Netflix has, to me at least, has taken a dive, and Hulu has just rose out of the ground and become top of the line these days. Now, one of my biggest problems that I used to have with Hulu, besides advertisements, was the fact that the content was kind of lacking. For the amount of advertisements that you would run into, the content that you would then get was just kind of like bare minimum. They only had a dozen shows, maybe at the best. But that's changed, and I think it's just because of how the companies have shifted around. For those of you who don't know, Disney was acquiring Fox. Now, we don't know for sure if that deal has fallen through or something along those lines, but they've had a lot more stake in Fox. Now, Fox owned 30% of Hulu. Disney owned 30% of Hulu. When you put that together and you make 60% of a company, now you're looking at things like Family Guy, American Dad, all the Fox shows that were only on Netflix for the most part. They were on Hulu, but it was like there was more of it on Netflix. They're completely gone from Netflix. Fox has abandoned Netflix, but it's all on Hulu now. And that was a lot of the things like we play a show while we are sleeping, just because background noise, and we would play it all the time from Netflix, but now we have to use Hulu. On top of that, there is so many new shows that I'm finding on Hulu. A lot of old stuff that I didn't know about. Like things from the back, way back when, like Mr. Ed, all the classics from the '60s and '70s and stuff like that. Car 54, which is a show that I really liked. It has the guy from the Munsters. It has two guys from the Munsters actually, but now that appeared on Hulu out of nowhere. Before I used to have to stream it from some weird website. Now I'm finally able to watch it normally. And they've got the Penn and Teller show from Showtime, which normally you have to pay extra for Showtime on Hulu, but it's being given away for free. And they're even running a special right now. If you use Spotify, you get Hulu and Spotify together for only like $12 a month. Something around those lines. Don't quote me exactly. The only thing is it only qualifies if you get the standard with advertisement package. Now, since Hulu has become my main viewing website, I have opted to upgrade to the slightly more expensive advertisement free experience, and that has taken away one of my biggest problems, which was the advertisements. Even when I was still doing advertisements, they've improved just leaps and bounds by what they used to have, where it would show advertisements and it would have an issue, and then you'd have to watch them again. And like I said in the last video, that was on all platforms. It was on computers, it was on cell phones, it was on game systems. Doesn't matter which one. They all were having trouble with the advertisements. But they fixed it. And now that I don't even have the advertisements, I don't have to worry about that. Now, that's where those two are. So Netflix has dropped. Hulu has risen up. They're still both up here. Amazon Prime, to me, hasn't changed a single bit since the last time I talked about it. I know there are some people who really like the shows on there. They're not for me. I've tried many of them. The only one I like is the Grand Tour, which, it's the guys from Top Gear. I'm going to watch that. I don't care where it goes. I would have bought something specifically just to watch that. But I don't really use it for anything else. I have a movie on Amazon Prime that I'm in called The Seven Lives of Chance, but I'm just in there as an extra. But still, at the same time, it's like, it's only really worth it if you're using the shipping stuff and some of the other Prime benefits. If you have Alexa stuff, if you have Fire tablets, Fire sticks, the Amazon ecosystem. Like, there's the Google ecosystem, there's the Apple ecosystem, there's now the Amazon ecosystem. If you're really into that, then yeah, it's great to have because you get the music, you get all kinds of stuff. So Amazon Prime is still in its own league. It's still worth it for reasons outside of what you can stream. the main two competitors, Netflix and Hulu, because I still don't count YouTube Red. That is still just trash. Get that out of here. Those two, you know, they're kind of neck and neck. I'm watching more Hulu for TV, but the movies on Hulu are still kind of eh. The movies on Netflix are still, to me, have a better selection, but at the same time, they both don't have the best selection for movies. Once you've seen the main ones, then you're starting to get into some weird stuff that is mostly not very good. So, what do I think you should do now? Now's the time where you could probably have both of them and enjoy them. Like I said, Amazon Prime's in its own world. That's good to have. But Netflix and Hulu, they're at the point where it's good to have both, depending on what you're after. Hulu's got more TV, I think, than Netflix has more movies. So it's really down to your preference. But Hulu is definitely improved, and I thought I should make an update. So if you watched the old one, or if you haven't watched the old one, go check it out, because most of my points are still accurate, except for the advertisements, which have greatly improved, especially if you got the upgraded package. And the content has changed. So until the next video,